Over the past 12 years, I have been creating vision boards. I was introduced to them in the 7th grade. And at that time, I think I used magazine cutouts, not really have any inspiration to what I wanted. They were all really big dreams, like go to Disneyland or go to Paris. Big things that you dream at 12 years old. But as I became older, I started having these more specific goals for my years. Once I started getting into high school, I started doing Pinterest boards, printing out the photos, but I still had a hard time putting it together because some photos made sense, others were just aesthetically pleasing and I thought would look cute on my board. Now I have created a great and easy plan for myself and introduced to you on how to create a vision board that's easy and simple. So I decided to share my system with you in hopes that you do not struggle like I did. Hey guys, welcome back or welcome. My name is Christy. For those of you who don't know, I make videos revolving beauty, wellness, lifestyle, advice, a little bit of everything. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my way of creating vision boards and how I make it easy and simple for me. Usually I start to plan things between Christmas and New Year's. That's great thinking time. You're alone, you're in your thoughts, you're trying to figure out the new year. It's a perfect time to get your mind into planning mode and try and figure out what you want for the new year. What I would recommend doing before any of this would be planning your goals. I started doing this, I think like 2 years ago when I was really stuck and couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I figured out easy ways to address most areas in your life. This way it can be simple for you to really figure out what you want to do. So before you go into the magazines, go onto Pinterest and start looking at photos, let's really figure out what you want for the new year. So I've created 4 different little sections for you to think of when you're writing your goals. 1, health. What health goals do you have in the new year? For example, what do you want your eating habits to look like? What do you want your fitness to look like? Physical health. For me, I want to get stronger. Not for aesthetic wise, just because I literally struggle to pick certain things up that I shouldn't have to struggle with. Before, I feel like I would just focus on like lose weight, exercise more, eat healthier, but let's figure out ways that you can actually hold yourself accountable to these things. I included like yoga. I know I like doing yoga for fitness and core training that way instead of like extreme bodybuilding because that's just not in my nature. I've never done that, so I don't want it to feel too intimidating. Next one would be career and finance. This can be together or this can be 2 separate things if you have big career and financial goals. What are your career aspirations? How much money do you want to make maybe like a month, a year? For example, if you have a goal of, let's say, moving out, buying yourself a new computer, you can start thinking about ways that you can budget yourself. What income do you want? Are you happy with the job and payment that you're receiving right now? This way you can really see what changes to make in the new year. What do you want in your career? Are you currently in school and you want to do an internship somewhere, you know, outreaching by emails to so many different companies and ask if they're looking for an assistant or an internship position, you know, anything like that. I feel like those are ways that you can feel like, oh, I'm going to reach my goal by doing this, this, and this. Financial goals. Are you planning to move out? How are you going to budget that? Are you going to be doing a savings? You know, things like that. So let's get really specific on what your goals are and how you can achieve them. And that way you can find pictures that motivate you. The next section would be relationship and personal growth. Are you happy with your current friendships? Are you happy in your current romantic relationship if you're in one? How do you feel about your family dynamic, your family relationships? What relationships would you want to prioritize or get more of? Another thing to go with like the personal growth part, what relationships can you have with yourself? What can you do for yourself that you were kind of lacking in 2025 or in previous years? Maybe in the new year you want to have more friendships. You can include photos of the type of environment that you want to be in with those friendships. Do you want to be out to dinner with your friends? Do you want to go to hikes with your friends? Do you want to go on trips with your friends? Like, where do you want to meet these friendships? And this way you can kind of add photos accordingly. In your romantic relationships, do you want to continue with this person? And if you do, maybe put photos of something that you'd want to do more of together. If you're not in a current relationship and you're looking for someone, look for things that you'd want to have and receive from that person. And personal growth for yourself. What would you want to do in the new year that feeds into your soul? Would you want to start journaling more? Therapy, you've been really looking into therapy, or spend time with yourself more in the quiet, in your bedroom. What do you want to show in the relationship you have with yourself? A great way to think about what you would want or what you would need is imagine someone else giving you that. If you know your love languages, quality time, spend more time with yourself, acts of service, do more things for yourself, be there for yourself, words of affirmation, you know, start writing sticky notes everywhere, start talking to yourself nicely in the mirror or something, you know, something that can really help you in ways that you need to. This way, like I keep saying, you can really include photos photos that portray that. Maybe you can include a photo of someone being really confident and you're like, yeah, I want to embody that in the new year. The last topic that I have is feeling and mindset. How do you want to feel in 2026? What emotion do you want to portray and express to everybody when they see you? You want to be peaceful in 2026? Do you want to be excited, empowering, encouraging, loving? You want to be a badass, courageous? What feeling do you want to embody? This one really helped me set a tone for how I want the new year to be for me and what I expect myself to be by December 2026. Now that you have everything written down, let's focus on pictures. What pictures can you use to showcase all of these emotions? I would say for every goal that you have, limit to 1 to 2 pictures. You can always add more later. Depending on how big your poster board is, can be a really good gauge of how many photos to include. My tips would be to get photos that represent the emotion that you want for that specific goal. Don't just do someone at the gym if you see yourself going to hikes more. If you just like walk, have a picture of someone going on a hot girl walk. Always include things that you feel like you resonate more with instead of just, oh, that's a cute picture of a Pilates princess, but you'll never do it, you know? Something else that I really like when doing my collages is getting quotes. Quotes really fill up your vision board so beautifully. Another thing, if you are using Pinterest to get the photos, this is my biggest tip for you. What I did this year, which really helped me organize the photos, go through each category that I had written down. When I did my health category, I used like a health quote that I liked. So for example, I think I had like healthy body, healthy mind, healthy soul. I had that one first on my board on Pinterest. And then it would be photos that relate to my health goals. Then when I would go to my next category, which is career and finance, I would put like, I saved money. I found my dream job. I found my dream career. And then it would be everything that makes sense for that. That way, when I was dragging things over to my docs and getting ready to print them out, it just made more sense. It was like, oh yes, this is all together. And when you're cutting it out and you're printing it, it's just so much easier to have it all together than trying to figure out what photos are for what categories that I'm looking for. Something that I love doing this time around was using magazines as well. And for the magazines, I would use words and I would make it very scrapbooky. Use words in a magazine that reflected what I wanted for that section. Like a couple words that I used on there are from a magazine. That's just getting a little more personal preference-y. What I like to see, I'm a really, really visual person. I like to read and it correlate with the photos and it kind of just makes more sense to me. Now that you have your goals written down, you have your photos and your magazines ready to be cut, what will you need to create the vision board? You can really do it however you'd like. You can make it as big or as small as you want. You can make it through Canva, you can make it through physical paper. It really just is whatever your preference is. For me personally, I like printing out the photos using magazines and cutting it out myself. I like using kind of poster board, less flimsy than actual copy paper. But if you have only copy paper and you want to print it out through like a Canva or Google Docs, it can be attainable too. It's just depending on what you have and what you want to do. I have always struggled with gluing it down. In my first few times, I used regular Elmer's glue, but they just wouldn't stick. It would always peel off. What I learned that is the best is, I think it's like glue tape or something. You just roll it on like white out and then you stick it on. I feel like that's been the easiest, fastest way. Another thing you can use is double-sided tape. However, I did realize that double-sided tape is a little more time consuming because you have to like peel the pieces. So I've been using a rolly tape to do my vision boards. If you decide to cut everything out, you can use scissors as well. So personally, what I use is poster paper, glue tape, scissors, and magazines or printable cutouts. If you do not have a printer yourself, I have also gone to the library and printed out there, which is nice. They have really good ink. It looks way better than my home printer. I just create my docs ahead of time at home and then I go over to the library, log into my accounts, and then print it out there. Now that I gave you guys all these tips and tricks, I want to end it off on a little fun fact note. I have been doing vision boards for so long, right? For like 12 years since I was in 7th grade. What I realized as I got older is the more specific I am and the more intentional I am with my goals, the easier they are to come true. I have been doing very specific vision boards now for maybe like 3 years only. Like 2022, 2023, 3 to 4 years, 2 out of 3 became true. Your vision boards are so doable. It's all in the intention that you have with it. Even when I dreamed big, like I did this vision board up here. It's like a huge vision board. It was when I was really focusing on makeup and hair. Really big dreams. Working fashion shows, working on set. And to me, when I was doing it last year, it was like massive, huge dreams. But they actually came true. I did work a fashion show out of state too. I had the opportunity to work on a local fashion show as well. And it just all felt like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like it's actually coming true. I was getting a little scared. Another thing that came true, I had the opportunity to also work on set. I didn't take up that opportunity, but the fact that it still came, it was to work on set for like an indie film in LA. And it was just like, oh my gosh, that's actually coming true. I had it on my vision board. What I'm trying to say is it's really attainable if your intention when doing it is so pure and exciting and you have a lot of drive and passion for it. That is when you truly believe, oh, I can attain this. It's doable. So when creating your vision board, be specific, be true to what you want, put it somewhere that you'll see every day, and dream big. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is be excited when creating this. Don't get too stressed. Don't get too overwhelmed. Write down your dreams and we'll circle back in December of 2026. I really hope these tips helped you. And if they did, let me know down in the comments what your goals are or what you want to do this year. I know this is a bit of a late upload, but I hope this still helps you out. You can always create goals for yourself, not just at the end of December or the first week of the new year, but you can create goals whenever you want. It's never too late to start dreaming, so get your things out, make sure you do it, feel that passion and drive for it. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. I really hope the best for you in 2026, and I hope you have an amazing and great year. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.